Hi, it's Claudia, and in this video, we are talking about payback. So, we are talking about what happens when someone offends us in some way or hurts us in some way. And we already talked about what's our part, that we have to forgive them, but then what happens to the debt that they owe us? What happens to the hurt, and maybe we lost something physical or material or, emotional. So what happens in this regard? So this is what we're looking at in this video. And the Bible calls this the payback. The Bible calls it wrath. Now, the dictionary defines wrath as extreme anger, but from the Bible, we understand that wrath is the action taken from a place of anger. So we must understand, the Bible teaches us this, that man's wrath is cruel, but God's wrath is just. And this happens because God is in the unique position to know everything. He knows everything. So he's in the position to be just and to really pay back each of us according to everything that we're doing, including keeping Jesus' commandments, asking for forgiveness, forgiving others, and so on. So God is in the position to pay back, but what is our position and what is our part to do in this process of this payback? So, from the very beginning, from the Old Covenant, from the Old Testament, the covenant that God used to have with the children of Israel, this is very clear. So this has not changed. God's part and our part, or you could say God's part and the part of the children of Israel at the time, it has not changed. It is still the same for us as Jesus' disciples. So let's look at how God presented this part to them. What is his part and what was their part in the Old Testament? And this is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 35, and Psalm 4, verse 4. So Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 35, vengeance is mine and recompense. Their foot shall slip in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things to come hasten upon them. Psalm 4, verse 4. Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still, Selah. So, this is teaching us that vengeance, wrath, payback is God's. It is not our part. Our part is to trust him and to trust in his word and in his character that he is just and that he will pay all of us back. And then our part. So we looked at this from the perspective of the commandment of the New Testament, which is addressed to us, Jesus' disciples. So in the Old Testament, between God and the children of Israel, the commandment was be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still. So this was the commandment when it comes to anger. Now in the New Testament, it is a little different, but the expectation of Jesus is that we follow him in all of his commandments. So even though the order of everything or the wording, you could say, is a little different, we still have to feel our feelings and not use them to justify doing the wrong thing. And then here it says, meditate within your heart on your bed. So this is basically meditating on the word of God. This is taking our thoughts captive, which is exactly what we talked about. That is a very important and essential and crucial part in processing our own emotions and letting go of this anger and instead learning to trust God that he will do his part, as it says here. And we're going to look in the New Testament as well, which is directly addressed to us. God will do his part in his perfect timing. So we have to let go of our need for payback, but instead to focus on trusting God.